Hello, everybody. What y'all deep people be saying? Grand Rising. Can you guys hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up or a heart or something so that I know that you guys hear me okay. Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I am Jasmine Brand, and today we're going to be talking to Lemmy Plummer, the founder and CEO of the Zeus Network. Okay, you guys can hear me? Okay, cool. Thank you for participating and letting me know, because I just be out there. Hey, Henderson.Lisa. Okay, trans women matter. I'm with it, in hearts, okay. What's the name of your book, Charlotte? Stay blessed. You're in Seattle. Okay, yeah, tell me where you're at. Hi, Chantel. Hey, Lonnie. Or is it Lanny? Dark and Lovely. Y'all got some cute names. Salmon? Is it Salmon? For everyone that is just logged on, my name is Jasmine Brand, and I am the founder of the Jasmine Brand. Today, we're going to be talking to Lemmy Plummer. And he is the founder and CEO of the Zeus Network. Hey, Justin writes, why y'all never check inbox? I sent what I asked for versus what I got. Well, you know, we have a lot of people that DM us. So, hey Janelle Smith. So we can't respond to everyone. That's keeping it a buck. If you guys, okay, North Carolina. I'm actually in Washington, D.C. right now. I don't think so. Oh, I'm acting like you can see that. Was it shade about Leela Boom cover? Well, we posted no. Hey everybody. Hey Terrence. Let me request him, so then when he's ready. You're in Greenbelt. I definitely know Greenbelt. If you're just joining, I'm going to talk to Lemmy Plummer, the founder and CEO of the new Zeus Network. I know you guys watch Zeus stuff, Zeus shows. I watch all the, I watch the clips and the fights. So if you guys have any questions for Lemmy, he's the founder and the CEO of the Zeus Network. If you want to try to pitch a show, if you want to be on reality TV, if you want to work behind the scenes, if you want to work in TV, this is going to be a really good interview. Again, if you just joined, I'm Jasmine Brand. We're going to be talking to Lemmy. He's the CEO and the founder of the Zeus Network, which is a really big platform. It's super popular. It's founded by a black man. Yes, Jocelyn's show. Yeah, Jocelyn's show is very entertaining. Yeah, she did say damn double homicide. Okay. I forgot about that. Okay. So Janelle does Drew's hair. Okay. Kenya and the other celebrities. Okay. Do you guys have any questions that we should ask Lemmy? Again, he's the founder and CEO of the Zeus Network. So if you watch Zeus, you know the kind of shows and the kind of content, very entertaining content, very funny. Henderson.Lisa, you're not too old. Oh, wow. Okay. I just heard that. I just seen the news that you said about her passing out. We want Candace. Okay. I want to interview Candace. He's in here. Okay. Okay. I'm going to request Lemmy again. The Zeus Network is in the building. Okay, I just requested you, Lemmy. Hey.
Hey, how you doing? Uh-oh, let me get this camera right. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Good to see you.
So, I know we met before. I'm Jasmine Brand.
Okay, good. Yes, I know we met before.
We met once before.
Okay.
For everyone that's just joined, I was told you go by Lemmy. Is that the case?
Yeah, my friends call me Lemmy, but Lemuel Plummer is my name. But yeah.
Well, because PJ was like, yeah, Vaughn said he goes by Lenny. I said, I ain't really his friend. Is that okay? I was like, I'll just ask him.
Right. No, it's crazy. It's crazy. No,
Um,
people call me Lemmy, but yeah, no, it's good to see you.
it's good to see you too. First of all, for everyone that just joined, this is Lemmy Plummer. He's the founder and CEO of the Zeus Network. First of all, that is massive, and that is a really big deal.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, we've been doing really well, and Zeus has been taking off. So we're really excited about everything that's happening at Zeus, and so look forward to talking to you about everything.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to you. I like to talk to people that are behind the scenes and are, you don't know who they are, but you're supposed to.
Right.
I think we kind of get focused on talking to talent all the time, which is great. But I like to talk to people that kind of make decisions, and what you're doing is historical.
Thank you.
I know that you've worked on a ton of shows. Too Many Name, Mary, Home Improvement, all the Preachers of such and such LA. I think that's how I first heard your name was Preachers of LA. You did the Westbrooks, you did the Shears. But before we talk about Zeus, I want to talk about your background and how you got started. I know that you're in your 30s, but you've been in this business for a while. I think I read that your parents either owned a station or a network or something like that. Can you talk about that and kind of talk about how you got started in this business?
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up in the business. My parents own a bunch of local TV stations across the country, and so I grew up, just learning all the ins and outs about television, and so I was very fortunate and blessed to have that opportunity. And when I graduated high school, I ended up moving to Florida and went to college at a school called Full Sail, which is a media school, and graduated there with entertainment bachelor's degree and associates in film. And then I moved to LA. I think almost I want to say like 15 years ago, and close to 15 years, and landed a job working on Extreme Makeover Home Edition as a PA, and very humble beginnings, and it was great. Worked on that project for about 2 years, and just had this desire to want to get into producing and executive producing. And so after Extreme, I ended up getting a first look deal at BET with my brother and my other partner, Jason Tolbert. And we were there, executive producing shows for the network for a few years. And so the Monique Show, the Family Cruise, Vindicated was one of our big shows over there, and several pilots and other series that we worked on. And it was great. It was a great experience. And then after that, experience, we ended up kind of just going a different route. And I wanted to sell projects to different networks, and start a full service production company. Right. And so, I recognized that there weren't a lot of African American full service production companies. And so I wanted to, have some type of footing there and really launch my own production company. And I saw that there were a lot of, African American shows, but they were produced by predominantly white-owned companies.
Right.
And so I saw that void, got an investment by a guy named Jonathan Rogers and Harold Lewis, and they were instrumental as far as getting me to launch that company. And the first show we sold was Preachers of LA.
Okay, hold on. Take it before you talk about Preachers.
Sorry.
I want to take a step back. So, how did your parents get into the whole having stations and that kind of thing?
Yeah, my parents, my dad was one of the first African American American TV owners, and he just had this vision and dream to in 1982 to start a faith-based network. And so it was called the Christian Television Network, and they were passionate about ministry and creating original programming. And so they launched a few other stations in Detroit, New Orleans, and a few other places.
Because your family's from Detroit, right?
Yeah, we're from Detroit. And so back then it was a big deal. He ended up getting a license from the FCC to start this network. And, Bob Johnson, I think, was the only other one. He went the secular route. My parents stayed Christian. And so
Right.
the models are totally different. The business models,
Okay.
BET and you know, the more mainstream commercial television networks would, they would end up selling to advertisers and investing in original programming. And then when you had Christian networks like TBN and my dad's station,
Yeah.
CT,
Okay.
they were more about getting certain folks to pay for space and airtime on the network.
Okay.
So instead of selling to advertisers and getting, some type of revenue from the cable and satellite providers, if we were able to get carriage on these systems, then we would sell space and time, blocks of time, to pastors and ministers or whoever was interested in, putting out their original program.
Did you work with them when you
Yeah.
growing up? Okay. So
Yeah, I worked very closely with my parents, and I was 12 years old. I was editing at like 12 and doing all sorts of things in the company, but learned a lot from some incredible people that worked for my parents. And when I was 18, I just had this vision and passion to move to LA, and so that's what I ended up doing.
Okay, because like I was saying, when I think either heard your name or saw you or something like that, it was when Preachers of LA came out, and that was a really big deal because
Yeah.
church people on reality TV, it was so controversial. I loved it. It was really was groundbreaking at the time. And were you the producer EP of that show or the creator, or what was
I was one of the creators. Holly Carter and I both developed. Yeah, we developed and ended up executive producing the show together. And but she came to me with the idea, and we kind of like just dived in and just developed it out. But I was the actual production company. So what that means is that the network would negotiate the deal with my production company. My production company would be responsible for hiring the showrunners, the cast. I would pay everybody. I would pretty much facilitate the production, and I was responsible for paying for everything. So they would, some budgets are, range. I don't know what they are now, but at the time, they ranged from 300,000 to 500,000 an episode. And so, you got a 10 episode series at 500,000 an ep. Your budget is about $5 million. So the network would basically pay my production company that fee to produce the show. And, we would deliver it over the course of X amount of time, 8, 9, 10 months of producing, the show. And so that was a big deal. And so it was a big deal because people, always wondered like who's responsible for the creative and the business aspect of the shows, and that's typically the production company. Right. And so there were like, at the time there was like, obviously E1, Entertainment One, and 51 Minds and Shed Media and several others, but they were producing a lot of black shows. And so I recognized that our stories weren't being told by us. And we weren't the facilitators. We would work on the productions, as freelance employees, but when it came to actually facilitating the business and creative of the show, it was important for me to launch that full service production company, and that's what we ended up doing.
Right. I know that there aren't, in terms of reality TV that I'm aware, I know that there aren't that many black production companies, black-owned production companies, and then I know that they'll take like someone from a production company, make them the EP, or they'll do something like that. Carlos King and I have had long conversation about that. Candy Burris was talking about how that was an issue with her at Bravo. So I know that it's rare to even like get any footing. But I wanted to ask, before I go into that, I wanted to ask, have you guys ever thought about bringing the whole Preacher series back?
If we do, I would want to do it on Zeus, and I would make.
Of course, you would.
I would want to make it different, a little different and more targeted towards this generation and this era. That doesn't mean we wouldn't work with some of the same cast members or anything like that, but the church is in a very interesting place, and so I want to figure that out, as far as what that type of show would look like now. Back then we sold it in like 2012, 2013. So, it's a lot that's happened with COVID and the church and how it's evolved and where it's at now. So, I don't know. I want to figure that show out. But I would love to work with the pastors and the preachers again, and figure out a creative way to put the show together so that it impacts this generation, and so people would be interested in watching.
And if you wanted to impact this generation, it would be fitting to put it on a platform that's digital. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
As opposed
no,
to like traditional TV.
exactly, which is a whole nother conversation we can have. I don't know, but
some other time.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about Zeus.
Okay.
For those who are not familiar with the platform, can you explain what Zeus is, and then who came up with the name?
Yeah. So Zeus is I'll give you kind of like a little perspective of why I even launched Zeus, and then who came up with the name, etc. But it was important for me. So when I went through my period of selling shows to various networks, like I said, the Preachers of LA, that we franchised it to Oxygen. We had we did 2 seasons of LA. We went to Detroit and then Atlanta. And then I sold the Westbrooks that aired on BET. I sold another series that called Music Moguls with Birdman, Snoop, Damon Dash, and Jermaine.
Hold on, I want to interject real quick because I think I read that you sold your first show at 21 or 22.
Yes.
What show was that?
Vindicated. It was a show about folks who were wrongfully convicted of crimes and showing what their life was like when they were exonerated. So it was a big show for BET at the time, and that was kind of a part of our overall deal at the network when we had that.
Okay.
But yeah, so I ended up selling several shows. Like I said, the Westbrooks, the Preachers franchise, a show called Living with Funny, Music Moguls. We sold a series at TV1 called Two Sides with Viola Davis and Julius, and it was a great experience. And I appreciate every relationship that I made from every show and everyone that participated to the networks. But for me, I felt like the industry was changing, and it was kind of a little bit of an unsettling feeling for me, which was like, do I want to continue to try to sell shows, or do I want to take it a step further and take that risk to be a distributor and really compete in a major way? Because to me, after selling shows, there's only one other route to go, which is owning and starting your own network. And so I didn't want to really start a linear network, a 24-hour network that aired on traditional television, because people weren't watching TV that way, like they used to, right? People were all about convenience, choice, and control, and watching on certain devices. And so for me, I wanted to connect with that generation and that era. And I said, how do I start my own network? And I was watching, and researching and studying Netflix and what they were doing, and they were way ahead, from the inception of Netflix. They're a 21-year-old plus company, or 20-year-old plus company. Right. And their model again was all about convenience, choice, and control. When they were selling DVDs via mail, they ended up impacting Blockbuster. Yeah. And then, they disrupted Hollywood when they announced how many subscribers they had. And they were like, one day an article came out and they were like, hey, we have about 35 million subscribers, and people were paying like $8 a month. And when you do the math, it's like $280 million a month, right? Or something like that. And so they were able to invest in original programming that competed, that was competing with, the HBOs and Showtimes, and then they kind of really changed the game when they ended up binge watching, launching the ability to binge watch in that feature. Yeah. And so Hollywood was kind of a little caught off guard, and it was disrupted, and they were way ahead, right? So that model is called subscription video on demand. And so VOD, video on demand, there's a few different verticals of VOD. You got SVOD, subscription video on demand, which is a Netflix type platform. You have AVOD, which is advertising video on demand, and then you have TVOD, transactional video on demand. And so AVOD is more like a YouTube, TVOD is more like an iTunes or whatever. And so you can, all the different VOD platforms are different. One is a monthly subscription, one is transactional, one time, one is free, but you got to watch ads, right? Right. And so I wanted to get into that business, and so I said I'm good on selling shows. I'm young, I'm black. How the heck am I going to do this? I had a decent amount of money saved up, and I said I'm not gonna look for any type of outside investment for launching Zeus. Let me aggregate a few influencers and see if we can pull this together. And so I met with Daystorm, King Batch, and Amanda Cerny, who were pretty big influencers.
Yes.
And we ended up, I brought them on board and, explained the platform. They loved it. And Daystorm actually came up with the name Zeus. We were strategizing and talking about different names. And when he presented it to me, I said, I really like that one. I said, let's go with that one. And, from there, we ended up just preparing for launch. And so I felt like that was the move for me. And I really wanted to compete and generate significant revenue so that we can create our own programming, tell our own story so that it's authentic. Because I know a lot of people, they probably think our content is a little salacious and conflict driven, but
it is. It is.
it is, but to me, it's more authentic, and so, and
it's
I can get into it's very entertaining, and it's our content is just more raw. We wanted to give our customers a different experience, and so than what you would get on traditional TV. So the beauty and the benefit to being of having your own network and a subscription video on demand service is that your content can be raw, unfiltered, uncensored. So it doesn't have to be watered down for advertisers. And so, that's why the shows are just a little bit more provocative and loud when it comes to Zeus. And, people find it entertaining. Folks are subscribing. I mean, we've hit historic milestones in the company. And, we're really making an impact. And so we definitely are diversifying up our programming, and we have different shows. But Zeus is definitely doing incredibly well. I'm happy that we've been able to provide a lot of jobs, to not only just talent, but folks behind the scenes. And it's just been great. And we're in a different league. It's a different day and age. And, now we're competing with some real, brands and networks like the VH1s and the WeTVs, et cetera. So.
Yeah, I was gonna. One of my questions was, we had broke a story about there allegedly being some drama behind the scenes between Zeus securing a lot of VH1's talent.
Yeah.
And so and that was a question I was going to ask, because I remember us doing a story about that. Was there any truth to that? And why does if it what? Go ahead.
No, I got calls from the highest level at Viacom, and we have very professional, respectful conversations. Look, for me, we're black owned, and I take pride in that. And so, I didn't necessarily inquire about working with certain people. They were hitting me up.
Right.
And just so you know, your friend, like Carl, I love Carlos. He's great, super talented, successful. He actually was the one who introduced us to Jocelyn. You know what I mean? So folks were coming our way.
Yeah.
And presenting ideas and pitching. And so, it wasn't an attempt to intentionally just work with a lot of talent that VH1 has been working with. But they were just, they were looking at our deal structures, and it was significantly different than what you would get with a traditional network. We empower our talent. We give them the ability to monetize in a very unique way. We allow them to be involved in the creative and the business aspect of the show.
Right.
There are certain incentives that we provide that no network would. And so they love it, from Ray J to Princess to A1
Jocelyn, Black China.
Jocelyn, Black China, Drea. We have a show with Drea coming out. I mean, the list goes on. Chance is a huge hit for us.
Right.
And even some of the bad girls, So I just felt like the industry and, certain networks, they just, I think that I don't think that they valued, the talent in a way that we value them and we empower them. And that is what makes us unique and different. We're not just saying, hey, you're a talent, here, come work with Zeus. Like, we don't, like, that's old. That's not the new wave. And so it's important for people to understand that, the talent they're marketing machines. They're actual talent, on-screen talent. They're very creative, and there's value in that. And we feel like at Zeus, we acknowledge, we present all sorts of opportunities. We value them, and so
I was going to ask, why does it seem so easy for you guys that you're snagging talent from other networks? And I feel like you kind of, I'm not saying it's easy, but I feel like you kind of explained. I mean, it makes sense, because in my mind, I was thinking, oh, maybe they're easily lured to, the platform because they get producers credit. But I feel like, you're listing some other options that I think that traditional networks don't provide. And they probably will start providing now if they don't want to lose their talent or to have other options for.
Yeah, I think the networks are in a weird place, because it's not easy for them. They've set a certain precedent, and the way they monetize is different than the way we monetize, right? They get paid so they get paid two ways. All those networks, the MTVs, the VH1s, the BT, they get paid primarily through the cable and satellite providers. Now that's the end game, right? The networks are great, but who's making the most money and generating the most revenue are the cable and satellite providers, right? So the Comcast, the Dish Networks, the Direct TVs, AT&T, all these cable and satellite providers, are paying the networks. So if you have a wireless and cable package, the average person pays about $146 a month for cable and internet. And
pretty
so,
accurate.
for instance, let's. What do you have? You say you have cable?
Yes, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. So there's like let's take Comcast for instance. Comcast has about 30 million customers. You do 30 million customers times $146 on average. And that's how much monthly revenue they're bringing in, right? And so they share in the revenue, and they give the networks a certain fee, to keep those networks going. And so nowadays, a lot of these networks are owned by these media conglomerates, the Viacoms, the NBC, Universals, the Comcast, whatever. So they all own it. And so, they're working their different deals out. But that's the first revenue stream for them, right? And so they have to make sure that they're continuing to feed the beast, which is their network. And part of that other revenue stream is advertisers. So, as they're getting paid through those different ways, it's hard for them to make the transition and just start a network like Zeus, a Netflix type platform, a SPOD, and neglect what is their main moneymaker, right?
Right.
So for us, we go direct to consumer. So we're not worried necessarily about that. We're going directly to the customer and saying, hey, subscribe, pay us a monthly fee, and you're going to get access to these shows. And so, that makes things different, in investing in certain programming and working with certain talent and giving certain deals that they may want to do, maybe they don't. But yeah, it's just, I think the networks are, I don't want to say, look, I don't look at myself as a disruptor, but more of an extender. I want to be an extender. And so whatever I can do to help extend the bottom line and the main goal, I'm all a part of that. So I don't know. I just feel like, things are different. But again, like I was saying to you earlier, we value the talent and we want to give the best deals we can, which we've been doing. And they've been flocking over.
And let me, disruptor's not a bad word.
Yeah, I said extenders.
I know you did, but I'm saying, I mean, how long from start to finish did it take for you to get Zeus out the,
off the ground?
The idea to execute?
Yeah, we incorporated in 2017, and at the time we had a completely different strategy. So we were doing a lot of short form content. We were working with different talent and influencers, and we learned quickly that strategy and that wasn't the best move for us.
Wait a minute, hold on. So what lesson did you learn in that? What were you saying it wasn't the best strategy?
The best like short form content is very hard, because when you're asking people to pay a monthly fee and you are you're putting out short form content, they get through it quicker, and so when they get through it, they want to cancel.
Right.
So
yeah.
your churn rate becomes increasingly high. And
Okay.
so, so we learned very quickly. And then influencers, we thought like initially when I first started, I was like, I'm green lighting people at shows. And so for me, it was important. It's great it's not about necessarily having a following, right?
Right.
These people can convert into paying customers.
Right.
People want to see content. Content truly is king, and that's what we learned.
Right.
It's not about having a bunch of followers and saying, go do a show and get people to subscribe.
Right.
It's about putting a lot of work into the creative and creating dope shows, creating shows that people want to see, that people will talk about, that will spark conversations, that will trend, that will that will create controversy to a certain degree. And so you have to have a lot of different components when you're trying to create a hit show, and that's the goal: create hit shows.
Yes.
Don't worry about followers and all of that. So and that's what we've been doing, and it's been working. And so sorry, I don't know if that answers the question a little bit.
Yeah. Who's your biggest competition?
And that's we don't really have competition. No, we don't. No. Realistically, we don't. I don't know. We don't really have. I mean, I can't say VH1 is a competitor. They're doing linear. Like we're a streaming platform. People are watching every day, and our brand is becoming larger and larger every day. So I feel like we're in our own lane. We're in our own lane. Nobody's really competing with us. I look, kudos, and I wish nothing but the best to every Black streaming platform that is in our space to a certain degree. But we're kind of like and respectfully, I say this respectfully and humbly, we don't have competitors. We're in our own lane. And so I wish everybody else nothing but the best. And that's not me trying to be cocky. That's not me, trying to start
I
any
get
type of, yeah.
I get it.
So, but that's a great question. That's a great question. And look, competitors are important, sometimes, but right now nobody's really doing what we're doing. And we have a unique strategy. We have a unique way of how we do things at Zeus, and the type of content, we put out, and how we put it out, how quickly we put it out, how we market it,
Gotcha.
how we structure our deals. So, it's different for us.
Okay, it's just different. What's been the biggest challenge in terms of Zeus and?
Questions.
Okay.
So what I think what our biggest challenge is, we're at a place where we're doing very well, right? And our customers have an appetite to want more, right? And so we're faced with making certain decisions, because from a cash flow standpoint, although we're doing well, you can never not want more, or more cash, right, to reinvest in the company. So for us, I want to be able to put out more content a lot faster for our customers.
Okay.
And not just put out filler content, but content that they want to see. So we just, we're living in a day and age where people want everything now. Everything's so accelerated. And so that's one of the things that I think every platform, every network, everybody is kind of dealing with, is the customer, once they watch it, they want it tomorrow. They wanted the next. I mean, we're like, we'll finish a series, and they're mad that they gotta wait 2 weeks for a reunion. It's like, guys, we need to edit it. We gotta, you gotta do the. So it's, some of those are some challenges for us, is just trying to put out content a lot faster. And then, we have been approached, and folks have inquired about, investing in the company or acquiring. So, I take pride in being Black owned. I take pride in being independent. And
Okay.
so for me, I don't know if we want to kind of pursue that just yet. Do we want to pursue a round of investments, and sorry, my screen is keep going a little bit, but do we want to pursue investments, and do we want to raise funds, and from any type of private equity firm or bank or institution? So those are conversations that we're internally discussing and trying to figure out what we want to do. And then the other thing is, you know, we are you know, we have some loud talent, you know, so
Do you?
you know, so I like to call them content partners, and so sometimes we're doing a little bit of, you know, there's always issues every day, you know, with you know,
Yes.
our content partners, some way, shape, or
Yes.
form. So that's some challenges that we face on a daily, but overall, we're in a fantastic place.
You know, in your former life, you could have been a politician. The way you, the way you maneuver in these answers. I want to switch gears a little bit and
Sure.
talk about the shows and the talent on Zeus. I think we broke a story a while ago about Tommy Lee having her own show. Did Tommy? Did she? Did we ever go see that? No. Was it
um,
happening? But
you know what? It was a lot going on. So Tommy, first of all, I love Tommy. She's great. And
she's a loud talent.
she's loud, but she's a great person. She's a great,
Yeah.
she has a great story.
Yeah.
But you know, the issue was, there was a lot of things going on behind the scenes. You know, there was a lot of other folks involved. You know, Mona Scott had pitched the show to me.
Yeah.
And then Tammy Roman was also part of the pitch in the
Right.
show. And you know, you know, based upon at the time, you know, we were getting cease and desist letters from VH1, and there was a lot of things that, in my opinion, were a conflict of interest between, you know, some of, you know, the other parties that that were involved in the program. And so we kind of had to slow things down a bit and you know, redirect our focus on other things. But you know, I love Tommy. If there's a way we can make it work in the future or near future, you know, I'm all for it. But we really would have to figure out, like, you know, what that would look like with certain folks who have deals at other places. And you know, we don't want to be in a position where, you know, you know, we're some other network is, you know, involved indirectly in a way with our process.
Gotcha.
At this time.
It's you know, I appreciate you saying that, because I think as a regular viewer, we don't know. We just see, like, you'll see the Jazz and Brand do a story, and then we're like, well, where's the show? But we don't know all that goes on behind the scenes. You know, we're regular. We see a teaser, then we're like, okay, when's it coming on? We don't understand logistically what happens, and we don't understand contracts and agreements and who pitches it.
Yeah.
We don't understand. So it's I appreciate you kind
of course, and
that.
part of that, of course, absolutely. I appreciate you asking that. You know, part of that is just, you know, we have to keep certain things confidential. You know,
yeah, I understand.
So we can't disclose everything. We would love to go and explain everything, but we can't. So we're not intentionally just trying to be quiet or not trying to let our customers or new customers know what is going on. But sometimes we don't want to make certain announcements and make a big deal out of things. And maybe in the future, like I said, if there's a way to do it, we'll do it. So we're not passing, we're not doing it, we're not saying we're doing it. We're just trying to figure it out.
Okay, got it. Now, I started noticing Zeus when Black China got her show.
Mm-hmm.
And how did that come about? Because that was a really big deal. I thought.
Yeah, no, that was huge. That was a major turning point for us. We got a pitch from Freshie, who's a real solid PR rep, and he was her PR rep at the time, and her manager at the time came and pitched us a show, and they didn't pitch necessarily the real Black China, but they were like, hey, we want China to work with Zeus. We see what you guys are doing, and we want to be involved in this. And so we all kind of discussed several ideas in the room,
right.
And we finally just were like, that's the one. Let's give the fans, you know, a real glimpse of your world and your universe, as far as, you know, what goes on a day-to-day basis. And so we went through our development phase. We greenlit the project immediately, went straight to series. And I love China. She's a great friend, a little sister to me. You know, she's I love her, and she's you know, she has a great story, and she has a lot going on. And so I felt like all the different aspects of her life, I thought folks would be interested in. And you know, obviously with her mom and that relationship, folks were interested in seeing that. And so we told the story in a way where it was very, very authentic. So
Okay. Is she going to get another season? Or are we on hold? What's going on with that?
Yeah, we've been talking about it. And so we're just trying to figure out, we're just trying to figure out what makes the most sense. And when
Okay.
she's ready. It's up to China.
Okay. Okay. Who has the number one show on Zeus right now?
Jesus Christ. Man, look, we have some hit shows. And Jocelyn's Cabaret is doing incredibly well. Baddies ATL is doing incredibly well. One More Chance is doing incredibly. I mean, they're all doing very well. Look, I love the fact that Jocelyn came up with having the number one show in the country, which is fantastic. When she told Wendy that, and so that was great. But yeah, to me they're all number ones. They're all number ones in their own way. Like when China first came out, that was the number one show. Chance, when his show premiered, it was the number one show. When Ray J and Princess had their project, it was number one. So different times, we have different number ones in different ways. So, but those two shows right now are doing incredibly well, and they've increased our subscriber growth exponentially. And I mean, I can't.
Lemmy, you got to run for office. You've got to.
Yeah, I got to run for office.
You have got to. Well, I was going to ask you, you're not going to answer me directly, that's fine. But I was going to ask you, when Jocelyn went on Wendy and said she had the number one show, like can you clarify what she meant by that? Was she saying like?
Listen, Jocelyn is Jocelyn. I can't control what she does.
Can you clarify? Can you clarify?
Yeah, I can't listen. Her show did. First of all, her show. Jocelyn has done so much for Zeus with Zeus. I mean, so she's a completely different content partner. She's our first, second season. She had her first, second season on Zeus. So out of all of her shows, she was the first one. Season 1 did well. She hosted a reunion, One More Chance. She did an audition series. We licensed her first season over to WeTV. Season 2 went viral every week and was trending on Twitter every week. She's increased our subscriber growth, significantly. So she's done a lot. So, and yes, from her perspective, she has the number one show in the country, and that's what she was telling Wendy. Look, not a lot of people has been able to do what I've been able to do when it comes to working with a new network, licensing shows, having multiple seasons, hosting reunions. She's been marketing her show, amazing. So she's great. I mean, she's killing it. But she's going to say what she wants to say, and I have no control over that. I apologize. I apologize to anybody ahead of time. I have nothing to do with that. I don't control, coach, or I'm not a part of necessarily what she says at all. She is her own boss, and she says whatever she wants.
Got it. And that's what we thought. We
yeah. So
and
Vaughn will tell you.
Yeah. So you guys have the Bad Girls Club spinoff, or I don't know, Baddies, is that what it's called?
Baddies ATL, yeah.
Baddies. How has that experience been? Because that's a really popular show too.
Yeah, it's been great. We Natalie Nunn came to me with the idea, and when she mentioned Bad Girls Club, because at the time I had a deal when I was selling Preachers to Oxygen, I was very familiar with the show, and it was a huge success on Oxygen. And so I was pretty surprised when they canceled it, but I understood why. I mean, the show, it's a hard show to probably sell to advertisers, and it's probably a hard show to produce. And so they've been off the air for several years now. Oxygen has rebranded their network to being a crime show network. And so we ended up, and Natalie had pitched this show, not the Bad Girls Club, but she pitched the show that featured some of the other cast members, and said, look, we want to do something different. We're all older now. Let's see if we can create a business venture together, and let's see what we can do. And I said, I love it. Let's do it. She, obviously it's going to come with drama and levity and, all the sexy and this, that, and the other. So I think it had all the different components. And so I immediately greenlit the show, and it's been doing incredibly well for the network. Now the girls have been getting into it lately. Every day they're getting into it for something. So, I'm watching just like everybody else. Every day something new. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's entertaining. And now that you say that, let's talk about the fighting on the show. Well, we
Yeah.
post clips and stuff like that, so I'm always
Yeah.
seeing the
And
clips.
thank you so much. You guys are awesome. I love the Jasmine brand. You created an amazing company, and you've given a lot of exposure to a lot of folks and helped really increase their visibility and brand. So thank you. Jasmine brand, you guys are awesome and great. We look forward to continuing to work with you. Sorry, go ahead. What was the question?
Thanks, politician.
Of course.
No,
I had to throw that in there. I didn't say it earlier. I had to say that.
no problem. I appreciate the compliment.
Of course.
So I was saying, let's talk about the fights. And I saw, we see scuffles and fights and altercations. Zeus does not shy away from that. Is that intentional?
The fighting? No, we
No,
don't.
is it to show? I mean, to show that kind of content. Is that intentional, or it's just kind of
It happens. It happens. I mean, we definitely we don't story produce or produce a lot of situations. People think we do. Some of the cast thinks they think we do. Certain people. I mean, we definitely will talk about some of the conflict that's happening and how we should address it, and what look, if it happens, it happens. Of course, I mean, the Bad Girls brand obviously was built off of fighting and salacious content, and so we didn't necessarily say let's embrace that and say, hey, let's fight, because every episode they don't fight. We were actually trying, but we realized, oh wow, these girls, whoever curated the Bad Girls cast, they're special, because they I know it's tough. They all have a lot going on, and so I mean, all the girls are. I discovered very quickly that they are very intense. They have a lot. They have a lot of past baggage that they're trying to get through, and so getting everybody in the house and trying to deal with their initial conflict and issues that they're dealing with on a day-to-day, and then having to deal with other girls and people that are going through similar things, and it's a lot. So yes, fighting is going to naturally and organically happen, and we show it and we capture it. Half the time we're not even, some of the time fights are happening, cameras aren't even on, and we're like, so we're
hold please.
You said what?
Like, hold please. Like,
pretty much, we're like, hold on, what do you guys? And then sometimes fights will happen, and we're like having to figure out ways to tell that story because it happened, and we're just capturing it in real time.
Right.
So it is what it is. It happened on Jocelyn's show. It happened on Baddies. It happened on Chance's show. It happened on the Black China. I mean, these are people with real issues and real challenges, and so when they're faced with it, some people handle it differently, and so we just capture it. It's not that we don't want to go a different route, and we don't want to, get them necessarily the help that they need in that immediate moment, which we do, and we try to, we help as best as we can as producers and whatever third party, folks that can help if need be, we'll encourage that and introduce that. But
gotcha. Yeah. Okay. And we mentioned this a little earlier. You mentioned it. Zeus has some talent that has some really big personalities. I know that's got to be hard, kind of managing that at times. What's that like, and who has been kind of, who surprised you with being really easy to work with?
Ask the first question, the first part.
The first one is, how is it managing, talent with big personalities?
It's very tough. It's very tough.
Yeah.
It's very tough because we're dealing with them in different ways, not just, we are literally working with our content partners and the talent from the beginning, right? And all throughout post and marketing. So it's always challenging for us to deal with them, but they've all been great. We have our challenges because they're featured on the show and they're dealing with real life issues that they experience. It's not always easy to do some damage control or get everybody to agree. So we have our challenges with them, but I wouldn't say any specific person is more challenging than the other. But I've enjoyed working with everybody. And our team over here, we have a great team of executives, and my brother is a big part of that. He executive produces all of our shows, and we've been partners for a while. Jason Tobert, who's our president, and executive produces our shows with me as well. We have great showrunners and great producers, and we have a great team and we're very hands-on, everybody here. So it's not, we get through the challenges and we work
Right.
through it as a team. But I've enjoyed all the shows. I love working with Ray J. I love working with everybody. They're all different.
But who's been super easy that kind of surprised you?
Chance has been really easy. Chance Kamal Givens, his show One More Chance. He's hilarious. When you have a comedian and somebody that just brings laughter every day, it's like it makes the environment, easier to kind of like, it makes the environment easier to work with. And so but his show also brings another component too. So but he's been great. But Jocelyn's been great. Natalie's been great. Ray and Princess, everybody's been great. China, they're all great. You trying to get me to you're trying to story produce me.
I can't. I naturally ask questions. I can't.
No, it's okay. I'm messing with you.
But lots of questions, and I don't even know where this is coming from. But lots of questions about Natalie Nunn. I guess some folks have issues with something that she may have said. How do you handle? We don't have to talk about Natalie specifically, but how do you handle having talent that is super controversial? Like, do you welcome it? Do you have side conversations? What is that like?
Yeah. If we feel like something, look, we're a loud network, right? So we're also independent. And if we feel like something is damaging to the brand, we'll address it and deal with it. But nothing's really been brought to my attention from a perspective of, this person is this, but you're gonna have customers or fans, people who are biased towards other folks, people who are fans of this person and that person, who likes this show more than that show. So I can't really get into minutiae and nuances of all of that, unless we absolutely have to. If we have to make a statement, we will as a company. If we have to address it with our content partners, we will. But for the most part, it is what it is, and we're good. We haven't really had any issues. I don't really know what the issue is with Natalie. I know her and Sarah have been kind of going back and forth about. I don't even know what they're going back and forth about. I don't even know what happened. All I know is Sarah, we invited her to the reunion and she, didn't participate, she didn't, accept the offer that we made, and she has that right. And it is what it is. And, all the other girls came and participated. And I think Natalie and her had, pre-existing issues,
gotcha.
Show, pre-show, post-show. And so again, I can't get involved in the minutiae nuances as a CEO and that. And as hands-on and as boots on the ground as I am as a CEO, I can't really, again, address things like that.
Got it. Okay. Well, maybe you can address this. This is the only other touchy maybe question, because I wanted to see this. Mm-hmm. So I read that Zeus was having some legal issues with Omarion, and they filed a lawsuit over their unaired B2K documentary. I really wanted to see this documentary, Lemmy.
Yeah. No, look, it's super. That issue is super simple. It's like it's not even an issue.
Okay.
Omarion and I guess his manager woke up one day and I saw on a blog that we were getting sued, or they were threatening to sue us. There was no heads up. There was no conversations. There was nothing, and it's unfortunate. I want to be careful on what I say and how I say it, but bottom line, Omarion didn't generate as many subscribers as he thought he would. Sorry about that. I'm sorry, my phone. Omarion didn't.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfect.
Okay. Omarion didn't generate as many subscribers as he thought he would generate. And so for us, we when we presented him with the numbers, he was a little shocked. And there's various reasons why I don't believe he ended up getting the numbers that we projected and that we were all hoping for. Yeah. And, it was pretty simple for us. Promote your show, right? Promote it heavily. Yeah. Get the other guys involved, which he didn't do. And so for us, it just didn't hit as hard as we had all hoped for. I invested a lot of money in that show.
Okay.
I lost money, right? So for
Okay.
me, but that's okay. That's
Yeah.
part of the business. You
Yeah.
win some, you lose some,
Yeah.
right? And so for us, we didn't have the success that we had hoped for and that we wanted. And so I can't really understand, or I can't really control other folks' ideas that they create in their mind,
Yeah.
and other scenarios, or what they think.
Yeah.
People are able to create whatever scenarios. And so if we
Okay.
go to the court, or if we're really taking it to court, then I'm sure it'll probably be favorable towards us. Not probably, I'm like extremely confident. Like, there's nothing in my body that is concerned or worried about Omarion. But I wish him, his team, brother, nothing but the best. I know that they're doing the Millennium Tour this year, and again, we worked hard on it. We invested a lot. We worked hard trying to clear a lot of things, and really putting it together. We did our part.
Right.
I think there was a lot that they did to drop the ball, but
Okay.
it is what it is. And so, like I said, Omarion, he's unbothered. I'm unbothered. We can move forward, and
Okay.
so
All right.
keep it pushing.
Libby, this is not the politician answer I expected from you.
Oh,
I don't
shoot.
know you that well. Okay,
Yeah.
so moving on to, and I know I want to be conscious of the time. Lots of people in the comments asking, how do they pitch to Zeus? How can they be on a reality show? Blah, blah, blah. I know you get pitches all the time. What do you look for in a concept or a talent?
We don't really take, well, first, thank you. I appreciate folks inquiring and wanting to pitch shows, and thank you guys for all the comments. We don't really take a lot of unsolicited pitches, but we are figuring out a way to connect with our audience and to the general public, on whether that's a show or whether that's some type of site to submit ideas. But right now, we're not really taking a lot of, again, unsolicited pitches, but
Gotcha.
we are looking for, if you can figure out a creative way to get in touch with us once we have that available to the public, or if you can go through someone in the industry that is connected to us, or an agency or a manager or a talent, we'd love to hear the pitch. But we're looking for very loud, provocative content.
Okay.
We are looking to diversify our programming up. We have some really, really great shows coming up. We anything that's loud. Our audience is predominantly African American, targeted to African American females.
Okay.
18 to 49. Our sweet spot is about 18 to 34.
Okay.
We have a pretty large audience with the LGBTQ community as well.
Okay.
And so we're looking to expand and invest in more faith-based programming, and all sorts of things. I mean, we're launching Zeus music programming. We're looking for. We want to look at doing some more live events and live programming. We are getting into scripted next year.
Okay.
So we're excited about that. And so a lot of different genres of programming. So we're a streaming platform. So the good thing about that is, although we're kind of niche, it's still kind of broad. Like we
Gotcha.
gotta keep pumping out shows. That's the thing with the Zeus. We gotta keep pumping out shows. Our programming, and it has to get released. We have to continue to buy new shows. So the opportunity is there. Again, we're figuring out our part. But if you can get connected to somebody that can get to me, and I know folks DM me all the time. I don't really check that a lot, and they're DMing Zeus. And so I know our digital team sometimes will look at some things here and there, but we will figure out a better way to connect with our audience and the general public to submit show ideas that protects everybody.
Okay. How do you know when you pick the right show? Is it in the initial pitch meeting? Is it when you're filming, or when you see the numbers? Like, is there a feeling that you have? How do you know when you're like, oh, I think we got it?
Yeah, all of the above. I think
Okay.
it's a feeling. It's a feeling for sure.
Okay.
And then we kind of know what works well for us. Like right now, folks love our dating shows. They love our docu series. Follow docs, whether it's like a China and they love our other format, reality docus, whether we're in a house. So those type of shows work very well for us.
Okay.
And so we are, you know, but yeah, it's hard. Like cooking shows are kind of hard for us. Fitness shows are kind of hard.
Yeah.
Not saying we won't do it. It's just when you're asking people to pay for content,
I don't want to see that.
yeah, it's hard, and you get it in different you get it in different places. So
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and so it's like you probably can go on YouTube and find a fitness show that you want to see, or on Instagram. So our customers want a different experience, and so there are certain genres that we just have to you know, focus on and buy programming for specific audiences.
Okay. Does what's trending on social media, does that translate to what people are watching?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We get tagged all the time. Like on when we see, there's folks that will comment on certain posts that you guys make, and we'll look at that and say, you know what, we should probably really consider doing a show on this person, or on this type of, you know, situation that's happening. And so that happens. We get tagged in the Shade Room. We get tagged in Jasmine Brand, the Neighborhood Talk, Hollywood, all the different blogs.
Yeah.
And that sometimes can be helpful.
Okay. Lots of people in the comments saying Nene should have a show on Zeus. Any conversations with Nene?
Of course, Nene's my girl. We're in a good place. We're talking. We're more than talking. So hopefully we'll be able to announce some things very soon with Nene and some others. But you know, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we're excited to work with her and several others. Okay.
Now, before I let you go, I have some general life questions that have nothing to do with Zeus or the network. Just, you know, just living life. Are you ready for those? Because I want to be conscious of the time. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. What keeps you up at night?
Ooh, man. You know, what keeps me up at night is being hungry and wanting to really fulfill my purpose and get to the place that I want to get to. And so that keeps me up at night. My girlfriend keeps me up at night. No,
girl.
But no, there's a lot of things that keep me up. I mean, but just from a macro standpoint, yes, my goals, my dreams, the visions that I have, I feel like I'm anxious. You know, I'm very anxious. It's happening, but it's not a concern. It's more anxious, and that's what keeps me up, because I see it. It's like we're right there. We're making huge milestones at Zeus, but personally, even in my own life, I love how I'm evolving as a person, spiritually, physically, mentally. So that a lot of that keeps me up.
Okay. There are many people that would love to follow your career path. What are 3 pieces of advice that you would give them?
You know, if you're pursuing, you know, a career in the entertainment industry, number 1, find out what it is that you want to do. That's like the most important thing. And I know it's kind of cliche to say, and others have said it, but once you find that one thing that you want to do, become great at it. You know, become great. That's number 2. Become great at it. Do as much research as you can. Put in the time. Put in the work, the creativity. Get all the data that you can get. Again, research, and then, you know, allow that to open up significant doors. For me, that's what happened. I started off as an editor. I was a video editor. I did some camera work, and I never really tried to dabble in other things. You know, I wasn't trying to be a real estate agent while I was trying to be an editor and trying to pursue a career in modeling. Like, I wasn't trying to do everything. Like, I'm not saying I'm a model, but you know what I mean? Or a politician. I wasn't trying to pursue politics while I was, you know. So focus on that one thing, become great at it, and allow that thing to open up doors for you, which it does. You know, every legendary person, every icon, they become great at one thing that you really know them for, but you hear about them being involved in other things. But a lot of times that happens when they become extremely successful, and doors are now, you know, opening that they didn't even envision, or that they didn't even think. So make sure you focus on that one thing, become great, and allow allow that to open up significant doors for you.
Okay. What's one vice you wish you could give up?
One vice. Ooh, that's a hard one. One vice that I can give up.
Come on.
That's a hard one. I don't know. Man, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. I'll let you have one pass.
Okay.
What's the best compliment you've ever received?
The best compliment that I've received, man, you're asking some really hard but easy questions. Compliment that I look like
I should have been a
that I look like
therapist.
that I look like Denzel and no, I'm just kidding. No, that I don't know. I've been told that I'm brilliant. That I'm a visionary. Those are that I have
Those
a
are
big
big.
heart. That I have a big heart.
Yeah.
I'm very giving.
Okay.
Not
Those
a
are good.
bad.
I like those.
Yeah.
What's your biggest professional regret?
Oh man, my biggest professional regret. I don't have any.
Okay.
I have no professional regrets. I'm happy with my life experience and all the good and the bad, the failures, all the accomplishments.
Yeah, you got to take the good and the bad. What's one thing you've always wanted to try, but you've been too scared to?
I've never jumped out of a plane.
Okay.
Never bungee jumped. I would love to do that.
Okay. If you weren't in this business, what would you be doing besides the obvious what I said you should be doing?
I'd be a comedian. I'd be a
Libby, are you
comedian.
funny?
I'm pretty funny. I can do some impressions. I'm not gonna do them now. But
Okay,
I can
next time.
I can do some impressions. I feel like I have a pretty pretty solid sense of humor, and yeah, I think I'd be a comedian.
Okay. What's the best thing that happened to you this year?
Man, the best thing that's happened to me. That's hard to say. I mean, there's so many amazing things that's happened. I'm alive. We're all alive. That's been one amazing thing. Zeus has obviously, again, done incredibly well.
Yeah.
My family's doing great. Those closest to me are in my life. So, yeah. Sorry, I didn't give you one thing.
It's okay. Who was the last person that texted you?
Oh man, now you're trying to get me in trouble. No, I'm just kidding. My assistants, actually.
Okay. When is the last time you were cursed out?
Like 2 days ago. Maybe
By
yesterday,
talent?
maybe
By
the day before.
By talent, by girlfriend, by sister,
all of the above. All of the above.
Okay.
All of the above.
You deserved it.
No, listen. I'm a great guy. I don't understand it.
Okay. Sure.
I'm the nicest guy ever. They don't cooperate trust. You know what I mean? They just no. I'm just okay.
What trend? Oh, we're almost done here. We're almost done. What trend in reality TV would you like to see end?
Say that one more time.
What trend in reality TV would you like to see end?
What trend in reality TV would I like to see?
Yeah, see end. Like, what are you over in terms of seeing with reality?
Oh,
TV?
what am I over?
Yeah.
I'm. That's a hard one. That's a hard one. I'm a little. That's hard. I can't. I don't know if I can answer that one. That's a hard one. But there's a trend. I don't know. I can't answer that one. That's a hard one.
Okay. 2 more questions.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want your legacy to be?
I want to change a generation. That's always been my kind of motto, is changing a generation. I want to, really inspire. I want to really use the time that I have and everything that I'm doing to change a generation. Part of that is through economical freedom, and that's been kind of like my thing that I've been on. I think we've gone pretty far as a Black community, but I think really getting to a place where there's real economical freedom, I think will allow us to do some incredible things. And that is what I want to be known for, as being a part of that, as being someone who's been able to build a multi-billion-dollar company, to do things that we would normally not do, and inspire the next generation.
Okay. And if you could pick one song as the soundtrack to your life, what would
Oh
you
man,
come on, let me. Gotta
Jesus,
bring it home.
soundtrack. I don't know. I can't even think of a. That's crazy. You got me. This is very rare. A soundtrack to my life.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, man. That's
Let me, next time I need you to have
you
therapy before,
listen.
so
I've
that
been
you
doing
are
great all the
open.
way. Listen, all the way up until these questions. The soundtrack to my life. I mean, look, I like listening to scores. I like I
Okay.
like all different types of music. So there are certain soundtracks, music without lyrics, that I would
Okay.
say are kind of the soundtrack that have crazy impact and meaning to me. So yeah,
Okay.
that's why it's hard.
Well,
I'm like,
yeah,
but I get you.
I can't, most of these questions I can't answer myself, so I totally understand. This has been so fun. We have to do this again, later. Let's not let this be the last time.
Absolutely. We got to
I
get you
love
on
it.
Zeus. We got to do this with you on Zeus.
Yeah, because
I'm serious.
okay, we can
We
do
want to
it.
hear your story. We got to hear your story, like with our audience. That'll be great. We do our lives, but we
It's a
would
little
love to hear.
ghetto. It's a little ghetto.
It's a little ghetto.
A little ghetto. It's a little ghetto.
We'll interview you one of these days.
Yeah, we'll do that. Whoever runs Zeus's account is hilarious.
Yeah.
They're hilarious. But yeah, this was a great conversation. We should do this again. Is there anything else you wanted to address before I let you get out of here?
No, I think this has been fun. I agree. The feeling is mutual, and I appreciate the time, all the questions, and this has been really fun. I will say that we do have some really exciting new projects coming out. So stay tuned. We have one more chance coming out. We have a new series with Drea coming out. Saucy Santana. We have a show with him.
Oh, we broke that. We broke the Saucy Santana story.
Oh yeah,
show.
you did.
Yeah.
You did. That one's gonna be really loud and crazy.
Yeah.
We're working with several other folks. Just stay tuned. I mean, I really want to be able to, like, some real big talent and content partners that we're excited to work with. So we're talking with I can't. Well, you guys will know soon. You guys will know soon. Very, very soon. We have a lot of new projects. Season 3 of Jocelyn is on its way. We're talking about already season 2 of Baddies. Season 2 of Chance, like I said. We have some new projects with Ray J and Princess. All sorts of people. Obviously, you mentioned working with Nene, and Tamar Braxton is hosting our reunions coming up in August. So you guys stay tuned for that. The Baddies reunion is in August. Jocelyn's Cabaret. So Jocelyn, Janisha John, and Lunel is hosting. And then Baddies, we have Tamar and Jason Lee. So we're excited.
Nice.
We're also talking to Tamar about some other projects. So we're excited about that. Dream Doll, all sorts of people. So
okay. We will stay tuned. It was great talking to you. Let's do this again.
You too. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
No problem. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I hope I asked all your questions. I know you guys are really passionate, so I hope I asked as much as I could in a respectful way. We'll be doing more interviews, and if you guys have anyone else that you think we should interview, you can always DM us and email us, and we will take your suggestions. So hope you guys were entertained, and I hope that I'm sorry I didn't ask everything that you wanted, but maybe next time. Love you guys. Take care, and drink your water. Thank the Zeus Network. Talk to you guys later. Bye.